All right, what's up, everybody? Mike Lindsley back with you for an ML Sports Take. We'll recap St. Bonaventure and Xavier from the Garden here in a second. We are brought to you by Stanley Law Offices, Brian Comboy of Mass Mutual in New York State, and Tiny Bubbles Laundromat. Look, if you're in and around Central New York, you got to head on over to Tiny Bubbles, man. Fulton, Liverpool, East Syracuse, 3 great locations. Pay Range mobile app, wash, dry, and fold laundry for only $1 a pound. Terrific, terrific place to go for all of your laundry needs. Look, this is difficult, right? It's very sad because this is the end of a season. End of seasons are always difficult, but with this group, again, we talked about it all year, but assuming that they don't come back, this group, look, I'd love for them to run it back. I really would. Attaway, Loft, and Welch, Holmes, and Oshun. I mean, what they brought to the program is just spectacular. But it's a little extra hard when you say as a mid-major, and again, I hate that term. Everybody knows that. But it's just more difficult when you say goodbye to guys who have been there for so long. This isn't Duke, Kentucky, Syracuse, Michigan State, Arizona. In a weird way, Villanova, they don't get blue chip guys, but they're in the Final Four again. They've won 2 titles under Jay Wright, but they get kind of similar players that Bonaventure does, in all honesty. But just they kind of work it to the system. It's very difficult to say goodbye to these guys if this is, in fact, it. If they don't run it back. There's a lot of money to be made out there, but there's also a lot of money still to be made with NIL. Jaron Holmes is a big educational guy. Is he going to come back, get his master's, etc.? Who knows? But if this is the end, it's obviously really tough. Let's break this game down. First of all, I was stunned at how poorly Attaway played. I had predicted that he might have a big game because I thought he could get in space in this game, particularly with Xavier and the big guy, Nunji, in terms of, however they played defensively. I thought maybe with the bigs in there and the guards maybe over pursuing, that really benefited Attaway to get into the mid-range game and get up over the top. He only had 4 points. He just wasn't good. I thought in the first half, 3 big things were missing from St. Bonaventure. Number one, they were getting out-hustled across the board. And from that out-hustling comes number 2, getting killed on the boards rebounding-wise. I mean, especially on the offensive end, St. Bonaventure, it was one and done over and over and over and over again. They got out-rebounded 38-28, and a lot of that was from the first half of this basketball game. The third thing that really killed them was defense. The defense was horrible. First half, just letting guys open on the wings. Bonnie, they didn't stay with the ball and the guards with the blow-by and all the rest. And I talked about this, obviously, Xavier, losing a huge player in the NIT after the win. I think it was over Florida, losing their starting point guard. This Xavier team with their depth pieces and with the other guys, they were able to really make some hay here, and blow by the Bonnies and create a bunch of space. Paul Scruggs not being in there hurt Xavier. I thought, at least going into this game, you kind of thought, geez, well, this is a Kyle Lofton dominate game. They're missing one of their best players, etc. You just can't take anybody out like that and say, oh, okay. It was kind of like Justin Moore with Villanova in the Final Four. Like, how are they going to respond? But Xavier responded great tonight. I mean, this is a really good program. I mean, let's be honest. We know Xavier, right? Mark Schmidt, assistant coach there over 20 years ago. They played in the A-10. This is a program I couldn't wait to see come into the Riley Center during my day because they were really good then with Chalmers and Romain Sato, and you had David West, and you had Thad Mata head coaching. Xavier's a stable program. They haven't been to the tournament, NCAA that is, for 4 years, but they're always there. They're always around. They're always making a run in the Sweet 16. And Fran Fraschilla, who I've had on shows many times on radio in Central New York and Albany, and here on my podcast for the ML Sports Platter, he brought it up. He said that Xavier had the most talent going into this season in the Big East, and yet, they kind of stumbled there. I mean, that was an 11-1 team. That was a team that was ranked. disappointing for them, just like St. Bonnie, to not make the NCAA tournament, but they've salvaged things, and they go into the Garden with a pro-Bonnie crowd, and they absolutely out-hustled. They got more rebounds and all the rest, and the defense was bad for the Bonaventure Bonnies, and here's the other thing that really killed Bona. I don't think either team had jitters. I had mentioned that early, with the Garden and just mid-major programs, that overwhelming feeling, the Mecca, the whole deal, the New York City, the bright lights. You just don't know how teams are going to come out. I thought both teams came out relatively strong. Again, the out-hustle part hurt Bonaventure a little bit, but on offense, they weren't out-hustled except for the rebounding part. They actually got a lot of clean looks. They got a lot of mid-range jumpers. They got a lot of pull-up J's by the guards, and they couldn't make anything. And I feel like all those things in the first half that happened really was finally too much to come back from. How many times have we talked about it this year and in recent years under Mark Schmidt? This team starts slow. They have double-digit deficits at halftime. It happens all the time. The game I saw this winter at the RC with UMass. I mean, UMass was up at one point big, and I'm going, God, can you just please come out and have a strong start? I mean, this is absurd. Tonight, again, St. Bonaventure, they paid for it. Finally, at least in the result, they lost the game because their first half inability to rebound, to defend, to make shots, hustling, and this just the silly mistakes. There was also a sequence that you fast forward to the second half, and Bonaventure clearly won the second half, and there's no question about it. They 54-46 outscoring. They showed more hustle, more heart. They made 9 threes in the game. St. Bonaventure also had 18 assists for each team. Oshun with the 4 blocks. He had all the blocks for Bonaventure. Bonnie only turned it over 8 times. Xavier only turned it over 10 times. So, I mean, there weren't a lot of turnovers in this game. Thought the officiating, for the most part, was good, other than the second half where I thought Holmes and Fran Fraschilla said no call. I thought it was because the offensive player flung the arm down low there. But there was one sequence that really, really bothered me in this game. With about 15 or so minutes to go, maybe just a shade over. If you remember the sequence, St. Bonaventure, they shoot, I believe, a 3-pointer. It might have been Attaway. And then they get the ball back and they pass it to the corner and they shoot another 3. I think it was Welch on the left side. And he shoots another 3. And I'm going, what are you doing? That is just not the situation that you want. You need to go to the hole. There's still tons of time left. And I'm going to try to find out the exact sequence here. 15, let me see. Attaway made the dunk with 14:20. Let's go back a little bit here. Here it is right here. Here it is. Kyle Lofton made the jumper, and then Colby Jones missed a 3-pointer. It was still 47-38, right? And Dom Welch, who, by the way, he got the rebound, but he has just been a great rebounder this year. Kyle Lofton misses the 3-point jumper. Kyle Lofton, that's right. Lofton followed the 3 up. It wasn't Attaway. Welch, I had that right, the second 3. So Lofton shoots the 3. He charges forward, gets the rebound. You're like, okay, cool. Second life, second chance. Here we go. And they have the ball down 9, and you're going, okay, all right, just go to the basket. Just get 2 points. Cut it to 7. And the Bonnies, Dom Welch, for as great as he played for Bonnet tonight, I thought he was the best player on the floor. He just rushed that shot. And Fran Fraschilla talked about it. I had it in my head. I'm sure many of you did. You cannot take that shot. You cannot take that shot. You have got to get to the hole. You've got to cut it from 9 to 7. There's still 15 minutes plus to go in the game. What are you doing in that situation? And then as we went on in the second half, one after another, there were plenty of key misses for St. Bonaventure. When the Bonnies, went on a little bit of a mini run, you're like, okay, here we go, a little bit of a mini run. You're like, maybe this is it. Xavier would nail a 3. Bonaventure cuts it to 8. Xavier scores a big bucket, back to 10, right? You had a situation, I'm trying to find the sequence. Oh, yeah, 63-55. Oshun made that huge dunk. The crowd's going crazy. Great pass by Lofton. Boom, right back. Nate Johnson makes a jumper. Eventually, they get the ball back. Jaron Holmes makes a jumper. Welch makes a three-pointer. It's a 5-point game. You're starting to feel good. And then Nunji, boom, jumper, right? And then Holmes comes down, misses a free throw, goes 1 of 2 there. Kunkel then makes the three-pointer. You're like, what the, WTF here. Now 70-61. It was just 70-61. It was just back like that every single time when Bonaventure was at 7, 8, 9, and it would be back to 10, 12, 13 or whatever the case may be. So, disappointing overall. Let's attack the box score quick and then some final thoughts here. Oshuni with 12 points, 4 blocks, 3 rebounds. He was not good on the glass. Bonaventure was blocked out and out hustled on the glass. And Oshun, I'm sorry, but you cannot, and again, anything that I say, by the way, from now until the end of the video, I don't want to hear from stop hating on the kids. I've already praised them so many times, and I have so many memories and so many things to say at the end of this video. Let's just take a time out and say that for Bonaventure to win a game like this, you can't have him have 3 rebounds. You just can't. And look, everybody got killed on the glass except pretty much Dom Welch, right? 15 points for Holmes. Again, a true warrior, complete battler, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, 25 points for Welch. I mean, he was the best player on the floor. He went 7 of 10 from 3, a couple in mop-up duty late in the game trying to come back and all the rest. And by the way, Bonaventure, when they had the ball offensively and they were down like 7 with under 2 minutes to go, they took their sweet-ass time up the floor. I'm going, what is happening? And Schmidt is screaming to them. He was screaming, run the play. You could see it the entire game. 15 points for Lofton. He had 11 assists, a double-double for Kyle Lofton. Terrific, terrific stuff. Attaway was disappointing. 4 points there. Adams really didn't do anything. I talked about him in the beginning of the game. A little bit of a spark off the bench. He was not that. And Koulibaly, who I really, really, really like. I think Koulibaly here, 6 points, a couple of rebounds. I think he works on a little bit of his footwork and gets some things going. I think he's going to be a major, major, major player for this Bona team next year. I'll get into all the future crap way later on and all the rest, but this is where I wanted to end the video. Bonaventure finishes the season at 23-10. They go 12-5 in the Atlantic 10. We went into the season with all the expectations, all the hype. How would they handle it? Everybody back. And they win the Charleston Classic, ranked then as high as 16. Then the disappointments with the loss against Northern Iowa, neutral floor blowouts against UConn and Virginia Tech. UConn was only 10 points, but it felt like 20. They lose at Dayton with the bad travel situation. They lose the 2 games the first week of February, Davidson and at Richmond. You're thinking, hey, if we can split there, off we go. Lofton gets hurt, comes back early, right? Should mention that in that whole sequence there back with the game against Virginia Tech. And then you move forward, and Lofton probably played on a bum ankle even when he came back the second time, and it wasn't quite right, I don't think, until the A-10. Then you fast forward, Oshun gets hurt. He's out for that VCU game. Bonaventure gets murdered. They lose by 23. But the thing was that Bonaventure, even with all of that happening, you look at you look at the whole thing, and they won a stretch of games there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in a row, and 8 of 9. Before they lost to St. Louis in the A-10 tournament with the unfortunate situation with Kyle Lofton missing 2 free throws in the end. They missed 4 in the final couple of minutes there, with Oshun missing the other 2. And you thought, well, what's going to happen? I mean, what are we going to do here? Do we even want the NIT? Do they even want the NIT? And we just kind of had to wait this thing out. Never did I think that they wouldn't. I didn't say that they wouldn't play hard, but you have to bring it up, because that's just how the situation goes. And you just don't know how they're going to react. Well, guess what? Bona gets the NIT invite, and then boom, high altitude. They're the only A-10 team that has to travel way to Colorado. Absolute garbage. And they win the game, and they beat them in every facet in that basketball game. They start to gain momentum. Then they have to go to Norman, Oklahoma, a game that Oklahoma should never have been able to host. Why? Because they were already hosting the women's NCAA tournament. I mean, it's against NCAA protocol, but again, rules are rules until they're not. And so Oklahoma, Power 5, money, greed, Joe Castiglione, that son of a bitch. And now you have a situation where Bonaventure Bonaventure goes in fighting adversity, more travel, quick turnaround, just like Colorado, another quick turnaround with wicked long travel. They go in and win by 2. Unbelievable poise and moxie and all the rest. Jaron Holmes, a huge game in that one with 23. Oshun had 10 rebounds. Then they go to Virginia and were absolutely tough, absolutely balls to the wall, nails down, defense locked in, matching Virginia with intensity. Down 50-45 late in the game. They somehow find a way. Lofton gets the ball, 2 free throws, and boom. You know, this team fought to get one of the top 4 spots in the A10. Things didn't work out in the tournament, and then they salvaged the season to a degree with these 3 road wins in the NIT. And they ran into a really good Xavier team. Xavier came out and played extremely hard. I thought Bonaventure was the better team going into this game, but Xavier proved me wrong, and Xavier showed what they probably were missing all year in the Big East when they had that big swoon after they started 11-1, and Bonaventure loses. Here's the thing. I tweeted this, and I'm paraphrasing kind of my tweet, and I'll wrap up on this. I'm so sad tonight. I am, and I'm so proud. I really am, because these colors, this school, this community, the alumni, it's constant. It's just, it's a nonstop love affair for this basketball program and for this school. And I'm just so proud. I'm so proud to be a Bonnie. I for sure, appreciate it more, I think, now than I did when I went to school there, because I think it's hard between 18 and 22 years of age to really appreciate things to the highest degree. But, this group is going to go down for me as special a group as any group that's gone through that school, especially in my day. Caswell Cyrus, David Messiah Capers, Tim Wynn, that trio, the Adams trio, or the Adams group, and Mosley and those guys, Andrew Nicholson and his crew. This is going to be one of those teams, one of these core guys, core groups that is going to, I think, without question, I think that this group is going to go down in the history books at St. Bonnie. When you think about the accomplishments, again, this is another group, just like everybody in college basketball, but they got robbed of a season because of COVID, which allows them to come and run it back. I don't think they will, but I could be wrong. And just the A10 regular season title and the tournament title and making the tournament again, and then with all the hype and expectations this year and all the disappointments, and be able to come back and rally and say, let's play in the NIT and go road game, and all those challenges, all those hurdles, to be able to do that. The redemption of Kyle Lofton at Virginia, Oshun's block, the wild 3-pointers, never giving up until the end. I'm really proud. I'm really proud of this team. I'm proud of the school. I'm proud of the students. I'm proud of the students fighting adversity going down. I guess there was a fire on the bus. Another bus got pulled over by a state trooper. They had another mechanical issue on another bus. I mean, what a complete shit show. And they all still got to the Garden, right? And so it just shows the perseverance. It shows the love that we have for our school. We're not Duke. We're not Kentucky. We're not Michigan State. We're not Syracuse. We're not Arizona. We're not Gonzaga. We're not a lot of programs. We're not North Carolina. We're not Kansas. We're not Villanova. But you know who we are? We're St. Bonaventure University. And we treat our program the same way that everybody else does in college basketball. And it's right from the heart. And this group here showed unbelievable heart their entire careers. I hope they run it back. I don't think they will. Attaway, Lofton, Welch, Holmes, and Oshun. Thank you. Thank you. Tip of the cap to all of you guys. Tough way to end the season, but just hang on to those memories, because these guys gave us an awful lot. It's a big swing of emotions, I know, tonight. So hang in there, and I'm around on social media if you want to, talk to me. So thanks for watching. I went way long tonight. I figured I would do a 15 to 20 minute recap. I'm right in the wheelhouse now at 18 plus. Bonaventure, the season is over. They lose to Xavier 84-77 at Madison Square Garden. 23-10 on the season, 12-5 in the A10. I'm Mike Lindsley. Thank you so much all year, every single one of you, every Bona fan, every alum, everybody across the board, all the sweet comments. all the amazing support. Please, please, please know how much I love every one of you, and I cannot thank you enough for all of that support. Hit me on Twitter at Mike L Sports. Please like this video. Please subscribe to this channel. I'm going to keep going here and there during the offseason with some thoughts on, the incoming classes. Koulibaly, we'll wait to see if these guys run it back or not. Other thoughts on Schmidt. Plenty to talk about. I won't be doing things mainly on a daily basis, but you can catch me with all the other coverage. I'm going to be all over the Final Four here, the championship game. I'm going to be all over baseball, all over the Masters, all over horse racing, all over everything. So make sure you do hit me on Twitter at Mike L Sports. Download my podcast and subscribe today. It's the ML Sports Platter where podcasts are found. We are brought to you by Stanley Law Offices, Welch & Company Jewelers, our good friend Matt Graham of State Farm Insurance, and Camillus Golf Club. Again, hit me on Twitter at Mike L Sports. I'm Mike Lindsley. Thank you so much for the entire season, and always go Bonas. And as I always say, enjoy the games.